So with a global recession just around the corner, is this going to kill Shopify dropshipping? Because the leading e-commerce giant, Amazon, their sales are currently down and they're currently having to close down warehouses because they're projecting lower sales. Hey guys, welcome to the YouTube channel. My name's Mohsin, known as the E-com King, and in today's video, I'm going to be telling you about the current market conditions within Shopify dropshipping and e-commerce, because it has started to slightly take a hit, and that hit could get a lot worse, or we could start to recover. So I don't normally tell you guys that you must watch every single one of my videos in full, but this video I'd recommend that you watch in full because it's extremely important. If you do not watch it in full, then you could be left behind and you could get absolutely destroyed with your dropshipping store. Because I'm going to be showing you 3 of my Shopify stores and how the current market conditions are affecting my e-commerce stores and what you should learn from it. Then I'm going to be teaching you and showing you how we've currently got into these market conditions and how it's going to affect us for the next 6 to 12 months. And all the information that I'm going to be showing you today is all going to be data driven, meaning that it's not my opinion, it's based all on data, so that's why you should take it very serious. Then I'm going to be explaining what you should be doing inside of your dropshipping business so you can climatize to the current conditions that we're in, so you don't see as much of an effect during these harsh climates. So I want to quickly address the elephant in the room, which is Shopify dropshipping currently dying because of the market conditions that we're in? And the answer to that is no. Shopify dropshipping isn't dying, e-commerce isn't dying, but it is currently going through a period of time where it is going to get quite difficult. And the reason for that is because people are worried about a recession just around the corner, or we are currently in a recession with the interest rates going up, the inflation rates going up, everyone panicking. It's stopping consumers from spending money. And when you've got some of the biggest e-commerce giants in the game reporting a slowdown in their sales for their Q1 for 2022, or a loss and a missed projection, that is when you should start to take things extremely serious. So as you guys can see on the screen, I'm inside of one of my Shopify dashboards, and the first thing that I want to do with you guys in this video is I want to show you a few of my Shopify stores for transparency to show you how the current climate is affecting a few of my different stores. So the first store I want to show you is quite a high-end luxury store, and it's quite high ticket, and you can see for the last 90 days we are down 24%, which is a decent amount to be currently down. So the next store that I want to show you is an outdoor brand, and as you guys can see, we are down 32% over the year to date, and 32% again is a decent modest amount to be down in over a yearly period. So the last store that I want to show you is actually considered quite a new store. We actually made the store in November last year, and it's done around about 500k since then. In the last 30 days, it's actually up 173%. Now this store is actually striving right now, and it's actually booming right now and making loads of money. And as well, for those that are asking, in net profit, it's actually making lots and lots of money. Now the 2 other stores that I showed you have been around for a few years, so that just shows you that they've stood the face of time, and in this year they're actually struggling a little bit more than in the previous years. But this is a brand new Shopify dropshipping store, and it's actually striving, and there's a few reasons why this store is striving even through the harsh conditions that we're currently going through. And I'll be teaching you how we've been able to do this at the end of the video when I talk about what you need to be doing right now in your dropshipping store. So now I've shown you a few of my Shopify stores and how they're currently coping during the climate change and the current circumstances that we're in. I now want to explain how we've actually got here, and I actually want to teach you guys how you can actually predict these things in the future so you can get ahead of 95% of the people. So the first thing that I want to show you is an article from CNBC News, and it's the tech part of the news, and it says Amazon shares fall on the bleak forecast and the slowest growth since the dot-com bust. Why is this important, you may ask? Now, Amazon is the leading indicator when it comes to e-commerce projections and sales, because Amazon is the biggest e-commerce business that sells products. So if their sales are down for a quarter, it's very likely that most other e-commerce stores are going to have a slow period of time. Now, when Amazon sales are booming and making the most sales like they did back in 2020, it's most likely that your e-commerce stores are going to be doing extremely well as well. So this is a massive tip for those guys that are new or didn't know about this. Always look at Amazon's sales over the quarter periods that they have and see how they're doing to let you know how the current e-commerce and dropshipping climate is when it comes to sales. sales. So the reason why this is slightly concerning is because they're comparing this to the dot-com bust that we had in the late 90s, early 2000s, and that was a massive problem that we had. So if you're comparing it to then, that is actually quite scary. So the next article that I want to show you is from Investopedia, and I'll leave all of these in the description so you can read them. Now it says Amazon shedding warehouse space as sales slow. So excess space is adding about 10 billion to cost in the first half of 2020. So Amazon has reportedly said that they're going to get rid of certain spaces. So why they're doing that is because they project over the next period, Q2, maybe Q3, that they're expecting to see a slowdown during their sales that they're going to have on their website. So the reason why this is slightly concerning is because Amazon has never in the last 10 years shedded warehouse spaces. They've only actually accumulated more warehouses to actually be bigger. So for them to cut down is slightly concerning because they don't have much faith in the next quarter and they don't understand what's going on right now with all the uncertainty in the air. Now, one argument to this is Amazon has grown really fast over the last 10 years and they might have grown faster than anyone expected. So although they're slowing down on their warehouses, you've got to remember they also grew a lot faster than anybody anticipated. So if you weigh it up, it's not really that bad, but it's something that you should take into consideration. So for anybody that's watching this video and you're buying in inventory or you're buying and sending into a warehouse, you might want to consider slowing down on the inventory and maybe moving over to a pre-order model for the next quarter, which is Q2, Q3, to see how things go. So the next article that I want to show you is from globalist.com, and this is a positive article, and it says e-commerce retail sales grew 2.4% in Q1 2022. Now, the only downside to this is if you compare the growth over the last 4 quarters we had in 2021, that 2.4% growth that we've had is actually a lot smaller than we've seen in the previous quarters in the last year. And the thing that I'm interested to see is what they will report in Q2 for the sales growth. Now, I'm expecting this to be actually negative, not positive. I'm expecting to see a decrease instead of an increase. So the next article that I want to show you is from theguardian.com, and it says US inflation rate slows but remains close to the 40-year high. Now, what is inflation for those that don't know? Inflation is where the price of everything goes up, cost of living goes up, cost of doing anything will go up. Now, why is that a bad thing? The reason why it's a bad thing is because those people that are going to be buying products from our e-commerce websites, dropshipping websites, have less money to spend, meaning that people don't want to spend money. When inflation goes high, people tend to try and save money instead of spending it. So that means people are less likely to buy products on your website. And the other negative part of this is it's taken the US a long time to get those inflation rates down. They are slowly getting them down, but by the time they fully get them down to what they want to get it down to, it could take at least another 6 to 12 months. So if consumers stay in that habit of not spending money, and that could have a long-term effect on our businesses. So the next article that I want to show you is from The Guardian again, and it says Joe Biden says US recession is not inevitable despite the rampant inflation as it has happened. So the president has said that there is a recession that we should all be aware of, and it could possibly happen. Now, for those that don't know what a recession is when you have 2 quarters. It could be Q1, Q2, or Q2, Q3, or Q3, Q4, and they are 2 quarters of negative GDP, meaning that people don't spend as much money. Now, the first quarter of this year, which was Q1, was negative. Now, we will not find out that we're in a recession till Q2 finishes and they bring the reports out. Now, that could not be till the end of August or the early September, and these are dates that you want to be aware of, because if it does get announced that we are actually in a recession because Q2 was negative as well, then what happens when people officially call it a recession? Most people will then act on working in a recession, and what that means is people are more likely to save money, people are more likely to stay at home, people are more likely not to spend money. Now, although there is a recession in the air, people are aware that it could be a possibility, which is more highly than not. People don't really take action till it's officially announced. Just like back in 2020 when we were in lockdown, no one really took it serious till they officially announced that we were going into a lockdown. Now, unless they officially announce it, people won't really take it seriously. So e-commerce sales might not drastically fall till they officially announce it. So the last article that I want to show you is from pymnts.com. I don't know how to say it. And it says consumers typically use debit cards to pay on stores and credit online. Now, why is this so important? Because we fall under the online. We are e-commerce and dropshippers. We are not retail stores. We're not paying stores. We are online. But guess what? Those that pay with credit cards are the ones that do it online. Now, if I scroll down, you can see here, here's a chart showing you how people pay for things online or in store. Now, the majority of people use debit cards, but then the second biggest category of people is credit cards at 32%. Now, why does this even matter? You're probably thinking, Cam, why does this matter? The reason why it matters is because if interest rates are going up, it means it costs more money to repay back your credit card if you don't pay back the full balance. It also means borrowing money costs a lot more money now because the interest rates have gone up. Now, let's say, for example, most people don't pay back their full balance, they just pay back the minimum needed. They still will occur some form of interest. It might not be a lot, but it'll be a small percent. But now the interest rates are going up, it's less likely for people to go out there and spend money on a credit card, because if they know they can't pay the full balance, they know that their actual minimum fee will go up a lot more because the interest rates are going up more. So that basically means people will less likely use their credit cards because they know if they can't pay it back, it's going to cost them triple the amount than it would do back before they increase the interest rates. And people might say, well, what if they just use debit cards? It's very unlikely for them to use debit cards because most people online for the last few years have always used credit cards. And that could be because they haven't got that extra money at the current time they buy something to pay it straight away. So by me showing you all of those articles and explaining each one of them, that's how we've currently got into this position right now inside of the e-commerce and dropshipping space, where the current climate is quite uncertain and people are less likely to spend money. Now, this all stemmed from the government's printing lots of money, and eventually printing all that money will catch up to them, and this is what causes high inflation. And I want to quickly go back to what I was saying before about the Q1 actually having an increase of 2.4%, but I also said at the end of that article when I read it that it's likely for Q2 to be negative or not an increase, and I think Q3 as well. Now, the reason why I think that is because in Q1, people weren't that curious, or people weren't that interested in thinking a recession would happen. A lot of people was kind of pushing it out the window. Now things are starting to get real with the president actually announcing that it is a possibility and loads of other people announcing that it's a high possibility. People are now starting to take it a lot serious, and we are now currently in Q2. And if they officially announce it in Q3, then that will last in Q2, Q3 and Q4, meaning that we are going to see some form of drop in sales over those periods of time. Now there is a high possibility that Q2 just stays even or a slight increase because they won't officially announce the recession in this quarter. But if they do officially announce it, do expect Q3 and Q4 to be a lot slower than previous years. Now Q3 and Q4 typically within e-commerce and dropshipping are our best months because of Christmas, Black Friday and those other things. And I know there's going to be some people out there that are going to say, well, it won't affect us because those periods of the months and time of the year are the best times of the year for e-commerce and dropshipping because people buy loads of things because of Christmas and Black Friday. But I'm going to say this to you now, people will slow down on spending because they won't have enough money. Now this could just turn out to be your average order value being a lot less than normal. Now my average order value during Q3 and Q4 is really, really high, but maybe with this current stuff going on, it might just make our average order value slightly lower. No one really knows what's going to happen just yet. All we can do is get ready for what could possibly happen. Now there is a chance that we don't get into a recession and things just go on like normal, and that is the best case for us, but we do need to plan for the worst case scenario. That's why now I'm going to be teaching you guys how you can plan for the worst case scenario and how we are currently still crushing it with our new Shopify dropshipping stores that are increasing by 100 to 200% every single month. And for those that have forgotten, this dropshipping store that I put on the screen is still booming during these climates right now, and that's exactly what I'm going to be teaching you how we're doing it, so you guys can do the exact same thing. So as you guys can see on the screen, I'm inside of the free cheat that I've actually created for you guys, and it's called How to Survive a Shopify Dropshipping Recession. And once we hit 2,000 likes on this video, I will leave it in the pinned comment and in the description below. So the first thing that we need to cover is what are the best niches for a potential recession. Now the first niche is the entertainment niche. Now why is this going to be extremely good during a recession? The reason why is because people will cut down on going out to the cinema, going out for food, going out to do ice skating, anything that's form of entertainment of them going out and spending money. They're less likely to do it and cut down on it to save money during a recession. So most people will turn to home entertainment, and that's things like gaming keyboards, gaming mouses, monitors. It could be things like gaming chairs. It can also be things like at home playable games, board games. It can be anything to keep people entertained during their time being at home. And the next niche that I'll do well is home appliances, and that just means anything that people can use at home like hoovers, mops, anything that's an appliance at home will do extremely well because people will be spending more time than ever at home than before. And this kind of goes with home appliances, and it's called home decor. This niche will do extremely well because, again, people are spending more time than ever at home, and they want to make sure that they're having a great time at home, so they want to make their home look nicer than ever. So they'll invest money into home decor to make their place look a lot nicer. Now, the next niche that'll do extremely well is home gym equipment. Now, for those guys that know this, these are quite similar to the niches that did well during the 2020 lockdown. Now, the reason why home gym equipment will do well is because people will cancel gym subscriptions. They did it in 2020 with the lockdown. They did it in other recessions. They'll do it again. They'll quit their gym monthly subscription, cut down on that, and they will go to using home equipment. So anything like resistance bands, home weights, anything that's equipment from home for gyms will do extremely well. Now, the next niche is gaming. Now, it does kind of go into entertainment, but gaming as a whole could be things as small as gaming keyboards, anything like that, phone gaming cases, gaming controllers for phones, anything like that will do extremely well. Now, the last niche is going to be the home health niche. Now, because people are spending more time at home, they're less likely to spend money on health, medical bills and things like that. So anything to keep their posture good from home, because people normally go to a chiropractor, they're going to have to cancel that and do it from home. So anything that will help them with their posture, anything that will help them with anything from home health will do extremely well because people will cut down on that expense very much. Now, the home health industry is actually the industry that Shopify dropshipping store is in, the one that is doing really big numbers right now and is actually increasing every month in sales. Now let's cover product pricing ranges for a recession. Now, I would say that anything between $29.99 and $79.99 is a perfect pricing point for any products during a recession. Now, if you go over $79.99, then I do think you're going to see a bigger struggle. Now, the first two stores that I showed you when I showed you the stores that are declining, those stores are selling products over $79.99, and you can see they took a dip. But the store that's doing really big numbers right now is actually we're selling the product for $29.99, but obviously we have upsells on there and it brings our average order value to around about $40. But the actual product price of the main product is $29.99. So everything that I'm telling you right now is all data proven. If my two stores that I just showed you that are declining are selling products for over $79.99, but the store that I showed you that's booming is selling for $29.99, this just shows you that this data is proven to work. Now, the other thing that I'd also say that you need to make sure you have on your store, everyone needs it, I can't explain it enough, everyone, and it is make sure you're using payment plans like Afterpay, Klarna, ClearPay. Now, what is Afterpay or Klarna? It is basically where you can shop now and you can pay over 6 weeks, always interest free. So the reason why this is so powerful is because those that might go back to using a debit card might want to use something like this because it's interest free. You don't need to worry about the interest rates, but it also lets you pay over 6 weeks. Now, normally with a credit card, it's normally 4 weeks. This is an extra 2 weeks, and you don't need to worry about that interest as long as you're paying your minimum repayments. Now, how easy is it to set up something like ClearPay? Now, I do want to make it very clear. ClearPay is great for US and outside of the US, and for the EU, Klarna is the best, and for the UK. Now, how easy is it to set up? You do need to apply for ClearPay. Now, sometimes people struggle getting it, but if you struggle to get ClearPay, try ShopPay. If you struggle to get that, try Afterpay. Try all the different ones till you find one that will work for you. But in terms of integrating it to your store, it is very, very easy to do. And once you've done it, the people will have an option on their website where it says you can now check out with Klarna ClearPay, and it will give them the option to check out interest-free with 6 payments. Now let's talk about the best platforms to advertise on during a recession. Now, I think TikTok will be the best platform because people are spending more time than ever on TikTok. If you just look at the statistics, people are spending more time on TikTok, and that has been the case the last few years, and I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. And TikTok, funny enough, is the best platform for advertising those niches that I mentioned before, and TikTok is the platform that we're using right now to achieve all of those results with that Shopify store that I showed you with the $29.99 product in the health industry. Now, the next platform would be Facebook and Instagram, then Pinterest, then Snapchat. The reason for Pinterest is because it's a little bit unsaturated and people on there tend to be a lot more qualified when it comes to buying things. Now, Snapchat is also good, and a lot of people will tend to spend a lot of time on Snapchat if we do go into a recession. But I would definitely say out of all of those ones on that list, TikTok is the best one right now. And the reason why I'm saying it is because in my Shopify stores that are booming right now, guess what? TikTok is the platform that is giving me those results. Now, something that I want to finish off by saying is you need to be very careful of how you're doing your copywriting, how you're doing your video ads on these social media platforms in a recession. And the reason why is because customer psychology during this time is people have a massive guard up and people do not want to be sold to during a recession because they are in this saving money mindset. So if you're making video ads or copywriting which says, oh, buy this now, or it's a harsh sell, people will not buy it because they feel like they're being sold to. So during a recession, your video ads and your ad copy needs to come across organic, and it shouldn't feel like an ad. It should just feel like a normal news feed or reels that just blend in with normal organic content. So guys, that's how you can survive during a recession if we have it in 2022. I hope you've learned something in today's video. I hope me being transparent with you has helped you a lot with understanding what we could potentially be going through in the next few months. Let me know what you thought of the video today. Let me know what your questions are about this video. I hope I've not scared you. Don't worry, dropshipping's not dying. E-commerce isn't dying. It's just potentially taking a little bit of a slower toll right now. And I hope you understand how to best prepare for these times. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.